Progress on marijuana laws has stalled in the General Assembly, casting doubt about what comes next.
A law in 2021 legalized possession but not sales of marijuana. Investigative reporter Evan Watson asked lawmakers and advocates to explain the disconnect.
The Republican-controlled House of Delegates will likely wait to see what crosses over from Senate Democrats before deciding on the next steps of marijuana legalization. Virginia lawmakers need to decide when retail sales of marijuana should be allowed. How much should cannabis be taxed? And where does that money go? But the discussion has stalled out in the General Assembly, and the divided government provides more roadblocks.
Democrats missed a real opportunity to wrap this all up last year and instead chose to prolong the issue with the reenactment clause. Now facing a divided government, finding peace in the valley on this issue is even more difficult.
J.M. Padini, executive director for advocacy group Virginia Normal, says progress hinges on what the Virginia Senate decides next week.
Fortunately for Virginians, though, there has been clear bipartisan support that something needs to happen in this session to enact retail sales.
House Republicans have proposed some cannabis legislation, but staffers for these delegates say they just don't know what'll happen to these bills. As for tax revenue, legislation passed last year would send money to minority communities disproportionately impacted by previous marijuana law enforcement, while Republicans have proposed alternatives, such as using it for school repairs. Padini says major compromise will be needed to move marijuana laws forward.
We would be the first state to pass a bipartisan legalization measure through the legislature.
In Norfolk, Evan Watson reporting for 13 News Now.
Currently, marijuana is legal for Virginia adults over 21 to have and use, but unless you're a registered medical patient, you can't legally buy it.
Lawmakers from both parties say this is why they need to speed up retail sales.